My fellow Toastmasters, as they say, timing is everything. This is a story of bad timing, first love, and Jim Morrison. The year was 1969, and I was a 4'10", 75-pound 8th grader, still a year away from puberty. The highlight of my awkward life was the church dance, a junior high mixer held the second Saturday of the month. This was a prim and proper affair, and it was supervised by a half-dozen church lady chaperones. It required dresses for the girls who sat along one wall and a shirt and tie for the boys who sat along the other. Now, I was usually a wallflower, but my luck changed at the January dance when a boy named Lyndon crossed the room and asked me to dance. Lyndon was as scrawny and awkward as I, so he played his ace right away, revealing his special talent. He could wiggle his ears back and forth, up and down. Those ears could do anything. That night, we danced to every song. So, of course, I was very excited for the February dance, which that year fell on Valentine's Day. Be still, my teeny bopper heart. Finally, the day arrived, and I began my preparations. Feeling very grown up, I had decided to trade my usual little kid tights for my very first pair of nylon stockings. Now, these were held up by a garter belt, a heavy-duty cotton torture device. As I removed the stockings from the package, in the beautiful, voluptuous silhouette of a perfect female leg, I encountered a big problem. My legs were not shaped like that. And so, in those days, when nylons were not even elasticized, when I pulled them on, my poor little pencil-thin leg just rattled around inside like I was wearing hip waders. To compensate, I found that if I pulled the stockings up and cuffed them over and yanked some more, I could make them narrow enough to fit. But now they were so tight I couldn't even bend my legs. It felt like wearing blood pressure cuffs, and the tension on those garters was like a spring-loaded trap. I needed to be vigilant, move slowly, and not bend my legs. Thusly suited up, I headed to the dance. And before I even sat down, there he was, my prince, Lyndon. May I have this dance? Yes, and like last time, we danced to song after song. About 3 songs in, we entered the couples dance contest. As Hey Jude played, I swayed grotesquely in Lyndon's arms, like Frankenstein on my stiff, unbending legs. But surprise of surprises, we won the dance contest. I later found out his mom and her church lady friends were the judges. Just before intermission, Light My Fire, that top 40, 7-minute-long hit, dropped on the turntable. Come on, baby, light my fire. Groovy, could this night get any better? As we danced, the hypnotic music, Jim Morrison's voice, and the high of my recent dance contest win all made me forget myself. And before I knew it, I was dancing for real, moving my entire body, including my knees. Somewhere in the middle of that electric organ instrumental, I felt it pop. My right front garter came unhitched. No! I began to pray, please God, please God, please God, but not 15 seconds later, pop. The left rear garter now let go. As Jim Morrison sang about setting the night on fire, I felt my face burn with a fire of embarrassment and fear. Realizing that only 2 garters now stood between me and public humiliation, I upped my prayer to include the entire constellation of Catholic saints. Now the song lyrics mocked me. The time for hesitation's through. You're not kidding, Jim Morrison. When is the song gonna end? No need to wallow in the mire. Try now, we can only lose, and our love become a funeral pyre. I was losing, all right. My stockings, which were now pooled around my legs like the loose skin of a Shar-Pei. But meanwhile, Lyndon was oblivious, and he danced away, wiggling his ears. Finally, the song ended, and I bolted from the dance floor and went straight to the ladies' room without a word. But because it was intermission, 30 other girls, unhindered by falling stockings, beat me to it in the line stretched out the door. By the time I finally emerged, almost a half hour later, Lyndon mistakenly thought that I was giving him the slip, and he ignored me for the rest of the dance. Before the night was over, he was wiggling his ears for someone else. Oh, bad timing! I was in the right place, but at the wrong time. If only they had played a shorter song, maybe my stockings would have made it. If only it wasn't intermission, perhaps that big line wouldn't have been at the girls' bathroom. If only it was a short 3 months later when legs pantyhose would hit every grocery store in America, revolutionizing women's hosiery. With no garter belts and stretchy fabric that could take the shape of anything from a skeletal leg to a bank robber's head, pantyhose would have avoided this whole situation. And in perhaps the greatest irony of all, here I stand before all of you today, 50 years later, unafraid to tell this tale. But on that night in 1969, I was so embarrassed by my wardrobe malfunction that I would have gone before a firing squad before discussing my undergarments with a young gentleman. Alas, bad timing and Jim Morrison conspired to make my love become a funeral pyre, going up in flames. Contest chair.